Hey Time Slicers, welcome to Slice Squad Spills. I'm your host, Nikki Wildflower. I went from a basement apartment to a multiple seven-figure empire. Now I'm here to share how you can do it too. Hi Time Slicers. Welcome to the Slice Squad Spills podcast. I am your host, Nikki Wildflower. It's officially season 3 and it's going to be the best season yet. And I'm here with my co-host and sister, Jackie. I mean, it's one person. My co-host is also my sister, Jackie.
Hi, it's me.
Why are you acting dainty all of a sudden? Like you're not.
You know
dainty.
what? I just realized we're in the wrong Riverside again.
No,
but that's
we're not.
Okay.
We're in Slice Squad Spills. It says it right there.
Okay.
Anyway, now that the first part of the recording is absolutely wrecked, so basically what we committed to this season is I'm going to walk you through the steps of how I went from broke, no clients, living in a basement to multiple seven figures, starting at the effing beginning. Okay. This blueprint, this is just a glimpse into it, but this blueprint, our goal here is to give you more value with this podcast for free than you have ever received from any kind of other. I mean, unless you're one of our consulting clients, then you know that this is only like a glimpse into the freaking galaxy of what we have to offer. But I want to give people who maybe are not quite there yet or can't even like afford our consulting services or our extension certifications. I want to give you the tools to get the show on the road, get started, and like give you more value for free than you've ever received for something that you actually paid for. So that's our goal, and we'll continue to stick with that goal. That's who we are. So we're gonna kick it from scratch. So my whole life, all right, this is the first step. It's getting very clear on what you actually want, and that can be one of the most difficult things to do. So I was always this vision board girl, right? Like I always had a vision board. I had a Pinterest board. I had freaking affirmations on my mirror. I believed like so strongly in this law of attraction. I felt that I could really attract anything to my life. I did struggle a lot with mental illness that hindered a few things, but I really felt inside me that I was like meant to be successful, just meant to be successful. There was no real clear goal there. It was just like, oh, I just know that one day I'm going to be a millionaire.
I'm going to do really well.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't really tell you how that's happening or anything. I just know that it's going to be a thing. And I just,
you know what?
What?
I was the same way. So I remember like the first time I ever leased my big girl car, like the first ever big girl car that I got. They were like, okay, it's a 21-month lease or whatever it may be. And I'm like, and then we'll talk about next vehicle from there. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be in a completely different financial situation in 21 months. Like, I just knew. I'm like, I'm going to have all the money to the point. I had no specific way of getting there, and it wasn't a specific goal. I just thought in my mind, like, I know I'm going to be successful. And 21 months from now, I wasn't rich at that time at all. So it didn't work because I didn't actually have any sort of action plan in place or a specific goal. Yeah.
It was just like, I want to make more money.
Yeah.
But like more money is not a goal. I want to save money. I want to save more money. That's not like a specific goal. Okay. Like the first thing that you really need to decide if you actually want to be successful, because when I started from the Squatch in 2017 and I had moved from Colorado back to New York, I wasn't like in the best place. I was actually like flat broke, which is fine. Like this is not me being like, oh, I'm a rags to riches story, but I am is the thing. And I'm going to tell you how to do it. That's the thing, because that's what I help other people do now.
Not safeguarding it. Yeah.
No. So basically I was living in a basement apartment. I went to like my Nona's spare room. I've told this story many, many times, but I didn't have any money. And I also was just like, I'm going to be so successful someday, maybe Monday. I don't know, not today. Just someday when I get my shit together, it's over for you bitches. But guess what? I had no actual clear idea of where I was going. And the thing is, in this life is that you can get anywhere, but if you don't have a specific destination, you get nowhere. You'll get kind of sort of versions of what you're hoping for. Until I was like, okay, until I started setting extremely specific goals, was I actually able to manifest or create what I really wanted to create in my life. So the first thing that I did was I decided this is what I want. I want to be a 6-figure hairstylist and I want to be an independent hairstylist. Now, how the fuck was I going to make that happen with no money? That's a story for another time. It's called credit cards, you guys, because I realized that if I were, there is certain kinds of debt, like if there's going to be a return on the investment, that it would make sense for me to do. And I had enough confidence in myself that like I was going to make this happen. Also, when you make a scary investment, you're like, okay, shit, now I have to. Okay. So I put my whole studio on this card and my goal was just like, I'm going to make it to 100K. And these are the steps to break down how to get there. So each week I would have this like goal. So I started in my studio. I didn't have any clients whatsoever, but I knew that by the end of this year, 1 year from now, I will have made at least $100,000. So then I kind of worked backwards from there. What does that look like? How much money do I actually need to make to do that? And that is what actually propelled me because I had very tangible goals in front of me, right?
Yes. When you could see the numbers and the data, like collect the data, like, okay, breaking it down, 100K divided by 12, divided by 4, right? Because there's 4 weeks in every month, and then divided by the amount of hours. Yeah, there's 4 weeks.
There's not 4 weeks in no, some months have 5. So what you actually do is no offense, you take the number that you want to make. So let's say it's 100,000, right? And then you divide it by, I usually divide it by 49, accounting for 3 weeks off per month. Okay. And then you break it down to the week. And then I would take that and break it down to the day. So this is how much I need to make per day to make this happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, how do I get there? So I started out, I'm like, okay, if I get this week, if I get 2 clients that are paying me $250 each, I'll make $500. Okay, cool. That was how I started. I was like, so that my first month, all I need to do is make $500 a week. And I would put in my notebook, like, this is what I need to, no, that's not what I would put in my notebook. I don't even know why the fuck I said that. I put,
and then I made something up just right now.
Like, sometimes I just say shit and I'm like, why? That made no sense. That's not what I put in my notebook. I put in my notebook, I am so grateful to be so busy that I don't know what to do with myself. And I wrote it over and over again. And I acted as such. Like that was already my reality. So like people would like contact me or I would contact people. I'm like, I have like 1 slot left this week. Mm-hmm. I don't know, fucking create scarcity, urgency. Like you're going to act. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm busy. In my head, I was busy as hell. And I was really able to put it into action. So I said, this month, I'm going to make $500 each week. Now, next month, I'm going to bump that up to $750. Now, the month after that, I'm bumping it up to $1,000 per week. And then I'm going to bump it up to $1,500. And then I'm going to bump it up to $2,000. And then I'm going to bump it up to $2,500. And that actually made it measurable. I knew exactly how many clients I needed, how many add-ons I needed to do, everything to actually make that happen. And I did. I made it happen because it was measurable. So your goals need to be extremely specific, but not just specific. Why do you even want that? Like, that's what I ask people. I'm like, well, what makes you think that's going to like do something for you?
What's it going to make possible in your life?
If anything, I mean, like what drives you? Well, if you don't have like a reason why you want to create something, it's like, what's driving you to even do that?
Because it's not going to be necessarily easy, no matter which way you put it, right? Like, there are ways to make the process easier, right? There's education, there's all of these different ways, right? And in that same breath, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. You're going to be uncomfortable all of the time. You're going to be pretty much always checked in mentally, right? How strong are your whys behind it? Because if you don't have them, then you're probably not going to continue to propel yourself forward because you're not going to feel motivated all the time.
A lot of times you won't at all. But when you have these very specific, tangible goals, like extremely specific, by the end of this year, I want to make $100,000. By the end of this year, I will have saved $8K. By the end of the year, this. And the reason why I'm doing all of this is because what it will make possible for me is that one, it's just, I'm going to be real with you. Like what has driven me in the past was like partially spite, like all the people that told me I couldn't and wouldn't, and like hair school was stupid. And, just so partially spite. And so what does that tie to? Increasing your status. But at least I'm aware of that. Like, at least I'm like, okay, well, part of me,
self-awareness queen.
yeah, part of me is like, okay, yeah. So like I became super successful despite my ex. So what? The other
Oh my God.
I became super
heart. Thank you.
I made it, motherfucker. No, yeah.
Thanks for the motivation.
Thanks for making me a fighter. No, I used to listen to that song like after we broke up, that Christina Aguilera song. It slapped so hard.
It is so good, actually.
mean?
But I rolled my eyes like so deep into the back of my head just now.
I don't blame you. It was so cringy.
It's so corny. Yeah.
But I just want to say that like part of what drove me was that like somebody actually like telling me you're never going to do shit with your life. I'm like, well, now I'm going to have to quadruple your salary just because you said that. So thank you for the motivation. Second of all, like I wanted to create freedom in my life, freedom to create what I want to create, have the experiences I want to experience. And guess what? I need to do that. Money creates freedom to create experiences. And no, not every experience requires money, but guess what? Like a lot of them fucking do.
Welcome to capitalism, baby. This is America. And you do need money in order to have a lot of the experiences that exist here.
Yeah. So, and two, like, I don't want to fucking stress about money. Like, I want to be able to go on vacation when I want to go on vacation. I want to be able to afford what I want to afford, take the classes I want to take, embark on hobbies that I actually want to do. So like really for me, freedom is what really drove that for me. So I knew exactly why I wanted to create that. One, to prove that I could, and two, to like help me create experiences in my life, and really my life by design. And that's what it would make possible.
Yeah.
Now I work 80 hours a week. So
we work double the time so that you can work half the time.
That's my motto. I work 80 hours a week so you can work 20.
Yeah, exactly. No, I love the whys too. And I think like, yeah, autonomy and freedom is a huge one for me as well. And then also like being able to give, like generously give is something. So like, I remember the first time I ever made like a bulk of money that I was not, that I had never really seen before at the same time, like all at once. The first thing that I did was I bought Kayla a flight to Denver because I've always wanted to be able to set, like she was one of the friends who came to visit me over and over again when I first moved here. And I've always wanted to say like, I'll get your next flight, but I never had any money. And so I wanted to like, it was really a beautiful thing to be able to say, hey, guess what? Check your inbox, girly, paid for your flight. You're coming to Denver again, like those sort of whys, like really personal to you. And it's something that you can always kind of fall back on mentally when you are having one of those really challenging days and driving forward. I think it's cool too. This came up in my brain before, like the law of attraction. I think it's a pretty awesome concept, right? Like maybe it's magic. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. But the law of attraction is cool. And there's like this secondary piece, I think that can really drive it forward. You said something like showing up and acting as though it's already happening for you, like showing up in the energy of like, I'm rich, I'm busy. It's just, this is where I'm at. That's where like the law of assumption, I feel like meets the law of attraction and then actually can propel you forward as well.
Absolutely. And just like being in that state of gratitude, which is why I like wrote in that book, like if you can feel the feelings of gratitude as if you already have it, makes it that much easier to actually create. It gets you out of that scarcity mindset because you can't be grateful and in scarcity at the same time. And it helps you to just show up and have fun in the process. Because I also want you to know that like you'll have this big goal. Like I remember when I had this goal of like, I want to be a millionaire. And I thought somehow like inherently that being a millionaire would make me like happy. Like I would get there and I'd be like, I made it. Like I did it. And being there was no, like, it did not, like, it's just doesn't do what you think it's going to do. It's all about the process. Like, if you're not having fun in the process, then that sucks and you shouldn't do it. So, like, we can always create fun when you have gratitude and you don't, and you are acting from a place of giving and not scarcity and like acting as if, you will create more abundance in your life, and you have to have fun in the process of getting there, or it's just like there's no point. It's a journey. You have to enjoy the journey to getting there too. And there is no there. There just becomes bigger.
No, there
goals.
literally is no there. It is, especially, I feel like if you're listening to this, you're probably like an entrepreneurial spirit. Jeez, that's like a tongue twister. And I think innately those sorts of humans, like you will reach that goal, right? And then you're going to be like, okay, now what? Because that's what we do. You're like, how can I keep going? How can I keep growing? Because it does feel great, especially like Nikki said, when you're having fun and you're opening your heart up to like love and gratitude during the process. Don't take yourself so damn seriously.
Don't take it so seriously. God, those are such lessons that I learned the hard way. Like every time I'm in that state of just like taking it way too seriously, I just do not, there's no abundance to be created in that state. Like you do not attract people that way. It just like wreaks havoc on everything. So like do not be in that state. Like you actively can control these things just by, if ever, take a moment and just like breathe. Like if you start getting into that fear, your body goes into that survival, because taking action toward goals is scary. It's never going to feel good. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's scary. Like people are like, it doesn't feel like
I'm not in
invested in my
this
business and it doesn't feel right. I'm like, it's never going to feel right. Like literally, it is never going to feel good. Your gut, like your brain it protects you. That's what it does. It thinks it's protecting you. That's not always useful. Like we kind of evolved out of that a really long time ago. So, and it just is lingering. With that being said, like take a moment sometimes and just breathe. Like in my experience, it has never been easy to make these like big changes that feel scary, but so worth it. But I just take a moment sometimes and I just like do my deep breathing, like, or my box breathing, 4, 4, 4, 4.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4 on your inhale. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 4 seconds.
Yeah. And then you can actually change your state pretty quickly just by like getting up and moving and actually just like putting a smile on your face, which as weird as it sounds, and just like being in gratitude. Like I'm so grateful, because you cannot feel fear and gratitude at the same time. So always know that like you do have it within you to shift your state. You just have to have the self-awareness to do that.
That's right. That's right. Take a deep breath.
Which most people do not have.
Most people do not. That is true. Actually, yesterday to our consulting clients, I did a little mini meditation, and I'm talking mini meditation. Like it doesn't have to be, you don't have to sit down and go into the Headspace app or go onto YouTube and do like an hour-long breath work journey or like an hour-long meditation journey for it to be effective, right? You can, like Nikki said, just take a couple of deep breaths mindfully. The one that I facilitated yesterday, I just had them take like 3 cleansing breaths. So just in through their nose and out through their mouth. And then envision a time in their career that felt like magic. Like they changed their client's whole entire day. Like they, just an incredible experience that they've had in their industry, whatever they're in. And place your hands over your heart and just like feel the gratitude of that moment. Like feel how gratifying it was to help someone in that way. And then I had them just envision like the feeling of receiving their certificate or their license in their respected field for the first time. Just like remember the feeling of receiving that license and like the dreams that came along with it and like the excitement, and tap into that. And then and take a few deep breaths in that feeling of gratitude and love, and open your eyes. And it was really like positive feedback of just like that. It took a minute, 2 minutes, and it can completely shift your whole day.
Sometimes you just have to shift your state, really. Like if you find yourself getting frustrated, have the awareness to be like, oh, I'm going to a weird place. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to be in gratitude. I'm going to, visualize those moments where I was in a different place, and I'm going to come back in a different state. Sometimes we just have to do that. So really the first step that we have for you, that's where it starts, being very clear on what you want to create in your life, very specifically, measure it all the time, every week,
Track your
every
numbers.
day. Track your
Project.
numbers.
Yeah.
Not even that, yes, and not even just that. Track your numbers, track your state, like how am I feeling today? What could I have done differently? What did I do great? And then also you have that to look back on and be like, if there ever comes a time where you're like down, you're like, okay, what was I doing then?
Do you track your like state of mind every day?
Yeah.
Okay, Nikki safeguarding her secrets. No, I'm kidding. I mean, here we are sharing it with the world, but I love this. I'm going to do this too. Where do you do it? Journal?
Yeah, my journal. I walk around with a journal. It's so weird. I'm such a diary girl. It's not a diary though. It's just like my journal.
Ladybug. Anyway.
Ladybug. Jackie had an
What were they
electronic
called?
diary. I don't know what it was.
Everyone knows what they are. Come on. The ones
Jackie
that
had
were
an
password
electronic
guarded
diary. Yeah.
in the
And
90s.
and her password was Ladybug, and she got locked out of her journal, her diary, and she was like it like didn't
It was
recognize her
voice
voice.
activated. So like
And
you
it
had
would
to
not
say,
recognize her voice, and she's like Ladybug over and over again, and it wasn't working. And like the more she would cry, the less it understood her. Oh, it was so fucking
and
funny.
then Nikki walked downstairs. You heard me having the episode. Nikki walked downstairs and she's like, Ladybug. And it's like, access granted. Yeah, it opened. And I cried even harder. What an embarrassing.
Well, I got it. Well, I got it open for you.
And ever since then, I haven't been a diary girl. You know what I mean? Maybe it was the trauma of it all. Yeah.
Could be. So that's where we're going to start. Track, measure, put specific time frames on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that it aligns with your values and your why, and
have
and
fun,
then
baby.
Have fun in the process. All right.
Part one.
Part one. Part
like,
two.
comment, share this with business owners, all the stuff.
Oh yeah. If you want to apply to work with us in any capacity, there will be a application type situation. If you are a hairstylist, you fill that out. If you're not a hairstylist and you're in an adjacent industry, such as massage, esthetician, any kind of service business, there will be a different interview link that you could go to.
Yeah.
Ciao. Thank you for listening to Slice Squad Spills. If you're enjoying the show, please subscribe, leave a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback is going to help us improve and attracts more listeners to the show. Please share with your fellow time slicers. And hey, if you're ready to optimize your time and double your income, we've got you covered.